So this is a video dedicated to Watsky or George Watsky, just explaining how he kind of changed my life and what he means to me. So I hope you enjoy, and if you've never heard Watsky's poetry or his rapping, I'll put a link down below. As you can probably tell, I am filming this on my laptop because my camera's over here and it's dead, and something really amazing just happened, not specifically to me, but just happened in general, that affects me greatly. And so I guess you could say that this is my first ever vlog. I'm very excited right now. I can't feel my legs. I'm like shaking. So I guess I'll just get into it. George Watsky, or Watsky, is I guess, YouTube found rapper. I mean, he was a rapper before YouTube, and he was a poet before YouTube, but YouTube really helped him blow up. He's also known as Pale Kid Raps Fast, that guy. He is an absolute genius with words, and I fell in love with him, I guess, a couple years ago, and I've always liked writing. I've always liked the spotlight. I've always liked drama. I've always liked all of those kinds of things, and words were always a really big thing in my life, writing especially poetry and spoken word poetry. And if you've never heard George Watsky's spoken word poetry, I'll put a link below. He's fucking fantastic. He's probably the biggest inspiration in my life as a whole. I mean, there's musicians that inspire me, and there's YouTubers that inspire me, and there's people in my own life that inspire me, but there's something about George Watsky that just like almost brings me to my knees. I saw him the July that just passed, in Toronto, Canada, where I live, and I've never had a physical reaction. I go to concerts all the time, and I've never had a physical reaction to someone coming out on stage the way that I did when I saw George Watsky for the very first time, which is the only time I've ever seen him in person. He came out on stage, and I started crying. I was in the front row. I was smiling so big, and I was crying. And when he performed his poem, Nothing Like the First Time, I also cried. I had told myself earlier that night that if there was a chance for me to be on stage with George Watsky, I had to take it. I don't care if I look obnoxious, if I pants myself on my way up, I gotta do it. And I ended up getting up on stage, and I wanted to melt in the moment. It was the best thing. And then after the show, I waited in line, and I waited for a while. When I got up to meet George Watsky, I swear to God, my heart fell out my ass. It was, he is the biggest inspiration in my life. He inspires me to do absolutely everything. He inspired me to take my own spoken word poetry and perform it in front of people that I didn't know, which got a really nice reaction, which was very nice. It inspired me to, he just like inspires me to do everything. Anyways, that was a really big rant about George Watsky himself. He just announced his new tour and all new tour dates, and he's coming back to my city on, I'm just reading it right here, on Friday, April 5th, 2013, which I read it, and again, I had this really weird physical reaction. I cried, and like my legs are weak, and I'm shaky, and I like called my dad, and I was like, Dad, like I'm at school, and my parents are at home, and I don't have a credit card, so I can't buy anything online. So I was like, Dad, like I need a favor, and he was like, what is it? And I was like, I have to go see Watsky again. And my dad's very understanding, and my dad really likes the idea of me performing my own poetry, so he was very supportive, and my dad is going to try and get me tickets as soon as possible. But just having him do what he does is enough for me. Like it's weird. I do become very attached to people that I don't know. I am like kind of a fangirl in that sort. I mean, I don't have a shrine dedicated to George Watsky or anything. I'm not that creepy, but I mean, I do. There's just I just his words, like, I feel like they penetrate me almost. Like, that's so cheesy to say, and I sound ridiculous when I say it, but I've never felt anything like it in my whole life. He's absolutely fantastic. He deserves every bit of appreciation and fame and everything deliciously awesome that comes his way. He deserves it 150%, and I will forever support him. Oh my god, I'm crying. Um, he changed my life. George Watsky changed my life and made me the 19-year-old journalism student that I am today, that writes slam poetry on the side and collects square words in my mind. George Watsky helped me create myself.